Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And this morning, no, it's not, it's this afternoon. I'm having a chat with Bethan Mary Thompson from Cardiff. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm getting it all wrong here. Good afternoon, Bethan.
Good afternoon, Prananda people, wherever you are.
Borada, yes, indeed. So, it's great to have you on this morning and this afternoon. Oh, I'm not doing very well today, am I? So I will ask you the same question as I ask everybody else is, what is it that you enjoy to do when you're not working?
I love being in the garden when the weather isn't very when the weather is isn't when the weather is decent enough, which
Yes.
was what yesterday. Thank God, hallelujah. So I have no sense of time when I was up there, but I also love to watch period dramas on the weekend and read. I'm a great Catherine Cookson fan.
Uh-huh.
And I do like salsa, but I can't do it now like I used to. So I have to improvise in things. So
Well, there's nothing better than an improvisation and something because that's creative.
yeah, and I also like to obviously spend time doing the things like flower arranging and bring the flowers from outside inside,
Yeah.
and that's for my well-being as well, so that I can be surrounded with nature
Yeah. Well,
and things
it brings
that make me
nature
feel
in,
better.
doesn't it? It
Yes.
brings it into, where you spend most of your time because we can't all spend all the time in the garden or outside.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it brings it in so you're able to enjoy it more.
Yeah, and those are just some of the things. I mean, obviously, I like speaking to friends and Alex when I get the chance and that, and having time. And I think the older we get, the more I enjoy of doing the things that I want to do rather than having to do certain things, as you said
Yes.
earlier on.
Yeah. So you say you enjoy Catherine Cookson books. Have you read a lot of her books?
Yeah, most of them, and I think that I've still got them upstairs and that because I love the visual, like books, the
Yeah.
feel of books. And I found one yesterday that I actually read, although it's not Catherine Cookson, is like Guest of the Emperor when I was visiting my mum and that, and I was thinking, oh yeah, now that the winter's coming, and Wuthering Heights. I like things like that because that also invokes memories for us of good memories of going to a place in the summer. We're in summer now and invoke those memories. And Catherine Cookson as well. My dad was from that country. So I've always, I have that connection. And I think I'm a bit old fashioned. I do think that because I like vintage fashion and I like that period
Yeah.
of
Well, there's an awful
watching
lot.
those
Yeah.
because of their resilience and their motivation. And
Yes.
that actually I've brought into part of my business to
Mm.
help people. Because, like when COVID came, is to understanding that, those times they would make do. And we have to make do with certain things now. So, and it's very grounding to watch that and peace of mind. And you're not really having to think about things because you can completely switch off.
Mm. I think they had a great way, didn't they, in doing reusing, refacilitating all sorts of things. And I think actually it's come round a great
Yeah, it
huge
has.
circle because that's what we're doing again.
Yeah, that's true. And it's almost like when you watch all the Barbara Taylor Bradfords, because I like that, the Jean Pleiades. And I did some journalists long time ago and interviewed people, a famous actress that, well, she's not that famous, but lives around the corner from me. And actually, I was reading Jane Pleiade at that time as well. So I like that. And that grounds me as well
Mm.
because that gives me away from the chaos and sometimes people and that have that good memory to have because those things I used to do with my mum because I couldn't go out anywhere, so on a weekend that's what I could do even when she was dying. I had nowhere to go, so that's what I had to
Yes.
use is watching things like that to keep me distracted
Yes,
about what was actually physically happening or
happening. Yes.
visually happening at that time.
Yes, and of course we have our memories, don't we, of our family, and sometimes they're not such good memories, but we still have them. They can't be erased.
No, that's right. Because I was thinking, I live by a castle. And I was
Oh, do
thinking about
you?
this. It's really
Oh,
funny because I was talking to Catherine, who we both know. And like she lives in Caerphilly. So there's a castle there, there's a castle here, there's Castle Coch.
hmm?
And then obviously my dad lived near a castle and that. And my name is Elizabeth Mary. So I'm Queen. So, and you think about all
No.
those connections of where you come from and why we are who we are. So that it's important. So when we go into think about speaking out there, as I am doing now, live and on the stages, and thinking of even on Zoom, is to bring that authentic self and that, and to think about where these skills have come. These skills have come.
Yes. Yes, and we obviously we have skills, but we learn them on our journeys, don't we? The skills that we
Absolutely,
have,
yeah. Yeah,
and they can be really important. Well, all skills are important, the lesser or more that they are.
I know. Well, especially with technology now, like, when they've got these apps and things, like water, like reminders. That would have been great when Mum was here. I wouldn't have had to be filling in all these little manual like forms saying Mum needs a drink now, and so do I,
Yes.
and that
Mm.
because people are getting dehydrated quickly. Working from home, people are not having the breaks, and that's
Yes, it's
important.
sort of head down, isn't it? And just getting on with it. And before you realise it, you've been sat at the computer having meetings for 6 odd hours, and lo and behold, we haven't got up and walked around and
Yeah, I
rehydrated
was
and all
on
the
one
rest of
last
it.
night and I thought, I can't do this. I'm going to put I went and got a drink, but because I'm quite disciplined, but not everybody is. And I was thinking how long they sat there. It was 4 hours in the end. That is a long time to sit for people.
It is, but I think we all get used to it, and we don't realise the length of time that we're spending.
No,
I think in the countries such as Finland and Norway, in the offices there, they have automatic settings on computers. The businesses set them. I don't know whether it's all businesses, but I have heard when I was working, businesses had a warning 5 minutes before the computer was going to be put on hibernation for 5 minutes for people to get up and walk around. And apparently that happened every hour.
good thing to do. I know it's not
Mm,
easy and that, but
no.
I do try and encourage people to do it.
Mm,
And I think that we have to think about that now.
we do. We do. But tell me a bit more about the the dramas that you enjoy.
I like Pride and Prejudice and things like that. And I've got, I think us growing up, my mum used to buy us books for Christmas and that. And me, I used to spend a lot of time in the library, like down the road back in the day, all afternoon, like on a Saturday afternoon. And I've still got those sort of books and that I can bring out, Claire de Lune, really old books like Wuthering Heights and that. And those is I think there's just something unique about when you watch those. And I love the fashion. I love like Bridgerton and that,
Oh,
I think,
yes.
when I'm planning a wedding and that, when I'm thinking, oh, this is what I would like, I've got jewelry and that. And I look for unique pieces
Hmm.
that are a bit quirky like that, to be different and that, because I think there was something special about those women, the way that they were dressed and that. And we can still bring that into the modern time. And that's fashion has come around and that.
Mm,
So I think, you just like the dances, the waltz,
yeah.
I mean,
But that's never going to go out of fashion, is it?
no, it's not. And it's just like, I love watching those, when they're waltzing around and that, because mum and I used to watch all these dancing and that. My mum loved dancing. I
Hmm.
love dancing. Can't do as much at the moment. Not can't. I, I'm
Unable.
unable, yes, I'm unable to do it at the moment, but that's not to say that that's going to last, because I'm working on exercise and everything like we all need to do. And, we can do certain things and
Yeah.
that. So just at a little bit different pace and that.
Yes.
But
It's
yes,
adapting. It's adapting to circumstance, isn't it?
yes, yeah, I think that, I'm a bit conscious because I'm on this crutch at the moment, but as you say, I'm unable at the moment, and that, maybe not forever. Maybe I
Yeah.
will have to go for a stick, but I would rather be safe than flat on my face again. I
Well, I mean,
don't.
there was I recall seeing I don't know whether it was Britain's Got Talent. I'm not sure whether it was one of those types of programs, and there was a dancer, and he had had an injury, and he danced using both crutches, and my goodness me, wow, it was quite
Mm,
phenomenal to see the move
yeah,
he was making. I don't know how old this young man was, but my goodness, it was just mind blowing.
I know, and I think that there's so many dances out there. It doesn't have to be fast, but I think
No,
that's what I like. I like the fashion. I like, the storylines, and the we actually get a lot of if you think about it, we can actually listen. If we listen to it, like I watched this old movie the other day about a woman who rented a billboard, and as a speaker, it was about marketing, and there was so many golden nuggets in there that I was like
it's
quotes and
just
that.
been
When I look back, it was really good.
yeah, and it's all it has happened is that it's been reimagined into something in the modern day, but it always
Yeah,
went on
it's
through
like the
history.
House on the Prairie. That's come back now.
Oh,
That's such
I
an
love that.
iconic show. Don't we love it? It's just like it was like a Saturday morning or a
Yes,
Sunday morning, like the Waltons.
yes,
The Waltons and that.
give
It's
up.
just like it's like the Sound of Music. It's like those
Yeah,
are iconic shows.
they are.
But and I think that that's what I love enjoying is spending time like watching those, because
Mm,
yes, you can have the books and that, and sometimes it's not quite like the books and that, but like Pride and Prejudice and that, Mr. Darcy and that, that
mm.
I think the old ones like Jane Eyre. I've watched every Jane Eyre that you can possibly imagine, but the originals are the best.
Yes. Do you
They
know, Bethan, I
capture
quite
that
honestly think that
mystery.
you were born in the wrong era.
I do think that. Yeah, I do think
Yes.
that. Somewhere along the line, I was born like
Yeah,
things.
it's
I
something
definitely
happened.
think that. I'm convinced of that. Even my friends, they say, oh, but I've grown up like that.
Yeah.
I grew up loving Catherine Cookson and that. I grew up, she came from the north. My dad came from the north. His family came down here, and his mother wanted to go back up there. My grandfather was a big golfer down here, and then he went back up there. And actually, my great grandfather was a very famous man that was running a newspaper, the Newcastle Chronicle, which is still up there, massive building, because I've done my research and that. So that's he was in the printing business, and I wanted to be a journalist, and so I've always wanted to know more and that, and
Inquisitive
Napoleon Hill,
mind. You have an
yes,
inquisitive mind.
yes, I always have been. And I think, even when I went and did law in college and go to college, and then I went in different jobs and that. And I think that's why I do what I do now.
Mm. Yes, and what we do actually is unknowingly, through our lives till we get to a point. Um, some people realize it more than others, but I think some of the actions that we take to build up to a point is setting the path to where we're actually going to. It's quite
Yes, it's
fascinating,
true.
really, isn't it? If
It
we look,
is true, isn't it? And
yeah,
I think that I know we got all the new technology and everything, but I was listening to I have a prayer group that I go to on a Wednesday night, and one of our great prayer group, he said he loves to have the books, the physical holy books and that, rather than, just read it on a screen. Whereas the lady that runs it says she would rather watch it on the screen or listen to it because of a visual impairment. So I think there is a choice, and
There's a
that
room
I
for both, isn't it? I
yeah, there
think
is a room for both.
it it's been brought into the modern day because obviously we do, as you say, the visually impaired. So that actually is quite an aid for her.
Yeah, exactly. So I think until you get to that point,
Yes.
let's not forget about those books, because there's something about a newness of a book, and what, even if it's a business book, it's just something that's
Mm,
really like, and each page is different. I think that when you open the book and you'd I don't like to take my time reading it, and I think I can go back to books like Catherine Cookson and that, and I've read so many, and I just you can read them over and over again, and each time is different. It's like going to a network. Each time you go into a room is different because there's
yeah.
a different energy.
So you
There's a
pick something
different,
up different each time.
yes,
Mm.
yeah, definitely.
Yes. No, I think it, and of course we're always learning, aren't we? We're learning something new every day. So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I think it has its books definitely have a place. And I think a lot of people have gone back to books because there was a time when people had gone on to a Kindle or whatever it is, whatever device. But I think books are coming back to people. Oh, yes, a lot of people, I hear a lot of people say, I really like the feel of a book, just as you have just said.
I know we've got Amazon and everything, and I think that there's so many out there now that you want to buy, and I think you have to be selective in that. And I also found that when I in the beginning of COVID is like when I was like on my leadership program, and I met this visibility coach, and I got her book and that, and then I wrote inside because I knew her. I wrote the date, and it was a gift to me, and I've written a gift to me, and that probably goes back to when my mum used to buy us books. Is It's a gift to me, and like I've got a case upstairs, a container upstairs full of books and that. But there's no way that I would get rid of them,
Mm.
because they're so precious, and I will have to one day. And then think, what am I going to do with them? And you have some ideas, but they're
Yes.
very precious. Big, thick originals like Pride and Prejudice and that, and
Mm.
Catherine Cookson's. And I used to go to jumble sales or
Yep.
little book sales and that, and like spend my pocket money on books.
So it's always been there. It's been a
Yeah,
constant for you, a
yeah,
book.
that for me, yeah. And I don't think I realized that until the other day when I was
Mm.
looking at going through them. And you can't keep everything, but there's some really precious. Even like when I used to go to my godmother's in um up in the north. They live in Skaysbrook near Southport, which is only 5 miles away where that tragedy happened. And I used to spend 2 weeks of literally just reading, absolutely reading, nothing
Mm.
else, and totally resting. And I would
Yes.
go up there for the summer holidays, you know?
Excellent. Yeah. Well, Bethan, we've sadly run out of time, but it's been a great insight into your love of books a little bit more. I've learned a little bit more about you. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
That's all right. It's been an absolute pleasure. And it's always a pleasure speaking to you at the
Thank,
Trusted Business and on one-to-ones. I love speaking to you.
thank you,
You're
Bethan.
an inspiration to me.
That's very kind of you to say. And well, I should lend that back to you because I learn things from you um, through things that I haven't done yet. So we'll leave it at that point. But thank you,
All right. I look forward to speaking to you again. Have a wonderful, blessed day.
thank you.